Okay, so a gentleman named Brian emailed me and wanted to know about the HDMI output of the C100 Mark II. He'd seen an article and heard some things, specifically the 10-bit recording of the C100 if you use something like a Ninja or external recorder. And so what I told him in the email was that I had actually heard of this, and a test I saw 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago, showed that there wasn't too big of a difference. And here's why. The HDMI output on the C100 Mark II is 422 instead of 420, but it's still 8-bit. So you do get better color depth in that blue channel. I think it's green, red, blue. Or is it? Yeah, because the 4 is usually green. I'm 90% sure. Anyway, the output is not 10-bit. The output is 8-bit. So even though you're saving to ProRes 422, 4Res HQ, or whatever, or DNx HD, you aren't getting true 10-bit. You're getting 8-bit saved in a 10-bit container, which doesn't give you more information. You do, however, get more color depth. And the test I saw showed, from what I recall, that you weren't getting a ton more just because the internal downscaling of the C100 Mark II specifically, but also the C100 is pretty good. But I'm not going to try to say that a test I saw 8 years ago is valid. So what I'm doing now is I'm recording this straight into the C100 Mark II, as well as on my Odyssey 7Q Plus, which I would show you, but the HDMI cable is this long, so I can't really move it. But right now I'm recording to ProRes HQ, which is a higher bit rate version of 422. And then we'll take a look at that in Resolve and see what the difference is between the two clips and try to pull them apart. And that will show you what you're getting if you do record to an external recorder. Now, at the time that I was looking into this myself, Atomos was selling something I believe called the Ninja Star, and it was this tiny little recorder that's saved to CFast cards, and it didn't have a screen on it. And I liked that idea because I had a screen, and I just like the idea of a small little recorder that saves the data, and something that I could just mount inconspicuously on the camera. Now everything is a 7-inch monitor, which is great but heavy for such a small and light camera. If you're rigged up in a cage or on a tripod, it doesn't matter. But if you're handheld, which I often was when I was using this camera specifically, could be problematic. So that's the test. If I suppose I'll do a DNx test as well, but it has to like reset the Odyssey for like 5 minutes. So I'll do that off camera. But that's the test. Let's hop in Resolve and see what's up. Okay, so we're here in Resolve, and this is the clip you just saw, the MTS clip, because I shoot in AVC HD for the better audio than MP4. And as you can see over here, it is 8-bit, and this is saved straight to the SD card. And then this clip is the ProRes clip, the exact same thing, filmed it at the same time. You can see ProRes 422 HQ, and it says 10-bit, but it's 8-bit in a 10-bit container. From what I've seen, something does change, but I would argue it's potentially the 422-ness of it and not the 10-bitness. But I'm not a scientist. I just went to film school. So, and then this is the DNx HD 175. I thought it was 220. In any case, once again, 10-bit. So if we go to the color page and we're on the AVC HD clip, and there's me looking stupid, you'll see these little lines. And this is what the article that Brian sent me showed is that your waveform will be, you can see missing data there. And if we go to the ProRes file, you can see it's smoothed out a little bit. See? And if we go to the DNX compared to the ProRes, they look about the same. Honestly, I can't really tell too much of a difference. And over here, obviously, like I said, it's a little bit noisier. Now, that's great. That is a visual difference. I'm shooting on the owl color profile, by the way. The thing is, if we, let's say, grab a qualifier of my skin and duplicate that over, you'll notice that we've got a little noise over here, a little bit of chattering. Mute that. A little bit of chattering, a little bit of movement. And then if we go to the ProRes, it's a more organic, perhaps, chattering. It looks a little more filmic than this, which looks like corrupted data. So you are seeing more detail to a degree. And if we go to the DNX, same thing, maybe a little less, but over here on the left-hand side, you'll see kind of the same thing as the ProRes. Maybe DNX is a little better, but we're picking nits here. But it is, to a degree, better than just the standard AVC HD. Now, the thing with this is if we clear all that, if we push this grade around, you'll notice it's not really breaking up. It's not, we're not really seeing anything too crazy. Things aren't being destroyed here. Turn off highlight. And same thing over here. I'll turn on highlight again for the same experience. If we go here and let's compare these two. They look, I mean, functionally identical. I'm not seeing too much of a difference here. And so that's the thing is you're not the gain of shooting 422 10-bit on this specific camera through the HDMI, pardon me, does not seem to give enough of a benefit as you're losing in the form of data. So if you notice the MTS file, 567. I did notice that this is a much shorter clip. This is only a couple seconds, but it's 500 megabytes. And the ProRes files are enormous, gigabytes, And again, the DNX file's only like 10 seconds or something. And the other, whatever you just saw, is maybe a minute. But on a C100 Mark II, you can, on a 128 gig SD card, shoot for 11 hours. You're not going to get that on your external recorder. So here, maybe we can throw like a, let's actually, before we call this called, I tend to treat this as just regular Rec 709 because I guess technically it's Canon log. So we'll do that. And we'll output to whatever, ARRI, log C, original log C. See, I don't think the way that the see, that looks correct. The owl color profile, you got to treat it like 709, even though it's technically based on the C log profile. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll just add the standard ARRI LUT. Actually, that looks. There's proof that the owl color profile is good. Look at that. It's damn near the same. Anyway, that LUT is not tearing it apart. And if we go here, again, nothing. We're seeing a little bit of black point change, a little contrast change. That's about it. We can also, let's do helicopter. Let's do, now this is not, I got to tell you, this is not a correct color space transform. Hello, helicopter. Because obviously, the profile I made is a jumble of shit. But if we go to, if we keep it 709 and then do the output gamma to, where is it? Cineon, we can then use the film looks and we can do this one. And as you can see, a little goofy looking. Maybe we'd want to like pull down the contrast a bit, adjust the exposure, and warm it up slightly. And maybe do a global balance, something like that. I like that look. But you'll notice it's not tearing that image apart. And these two don't look horrifically different. So the test that I saw seems to have been correct. You don't need necessarily to invest your time and energy in getting these little, at least with the owl color profile, you don't need to get rid of these steps. They're not, it's not giving you much in terms of functional image adjustment. Granted, this is only one test in one specific scenario, and this image is well exposed, but assuming that you are exposing your images correctly, I'm not seeing a huge reason to do all of that. So that is my somewhat barely scientific test, showing that you don't actually need an external recorder with your C100 Mark II. I don't have a Mark I, so I can't test that. But the Mark II is a very robust camera that does a good job at what it does. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully it can save you some money there. And go have fun and go shoot dope shit.